Hello everyone and welcome into another edition of my CD pickups videos. Sorry that it's been a long time since I've uploaded, but I hope everyone had a good holiday season, a good New Year's, and yeah, it's good to be back. I've got a lot of CDs to show. I've got quite a lot for Christmas, and I've also been buying stuff as well because I'm an idiot. So yeah, let's get stuck in. This is my second time recording this. The last time it messed up for whatever reason, and yeah, hopefully it doesn't mess up this time. So yeah, um, this is just some of the stuff that I've got recently, and I'll show the rest in the future. Hopefully there won't be a big long wait between videos. So the first one I'm going to show off is Ant Banks with Big Thanks. This came out in 1997. You could sort of say this is his fourth album, but it's not really. It's more of a compilation. Basically, Ant Banks provides all the beats and the production to the album, and he got like a lot of guest features to rap over his production. Guys like Too Short, Ice Cube, E40 and Mac 10. That song Can't Stop is the same song that was also featured on Mac 10's Based on a True Story album. King T, Spice One, Dub C, J Dub, who's pretty dope. I didn't know who that was before listening to this. He's a Bay Area rapper. He's pretty good. He was supposed to have an album in '97 called Gangsta Gumbo, but it never actually came out. I thought that was interesting. The song for the Hustlers featuring Too Short, Tupac, and MC Breed is probably my favorite song on the album. Really, really good. And yeah, generally, I think it's a very good album. You can't go wrong with Ant Banks' production, and you got like a really good lineup of people. Um, you got like a few people to do like intros and stuff like that, like Ice T, Dr. Dre, and Coolio. I kind of wish they had verses. You know what I mean? I thought that would have been pretty cool, but oh well. And yeah, there's an interesting skit on here called "Who Ride Ant Banks," where it's just a bunch of people. Be a bunch of people. I'll say them. Be legit, Mean Green, MC Ant, and Baby D. They all basically trying to contact Ant Banks and say, basically they were saying how disappointed they were that they didn't make the album this here, the Big Things album. Which I thought was pretty interesting. To include that. It's pretty sad though with MC Ant. He phones up and says, what about me? You know what I mean? I was the guy that you were working with from the beginning, which is true. Ant Banks' earliest production was with MC Ant on the MC Ant album, MC Ant the Great, I believe it was called. Yeah. It only came out on tape, so I'm never gonna get it. But yeah, I checked some of it out before Ant Banks's earliest production, and yeah, it's kind of sad because MC Ant actually died 2 years after this album came out. So yeah, kind of sad that message, but I just thought that was interesting, worth bringing up. I think this is a really dope album overall. If you like Ant Banks, if you like his production, on other albums like Two Short albums or Spice One albums, E40 albums, definitely check it out. Banks, Big Thanks, well worth getting. Came out in '97. Next album doesn't need too much introduction. Eric B and Rakim, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. This is their third album that came out in 1990. A very good album. Probably their darkest, I would say, as far as production goes. Pretty gritty compared to some of their other albums. I would say Don't Sweat the Technique is pretty gritty too. I would like these two are like their darkest sounding albums. I think this is a very good album. I really enjoyed it. The title track is fantastic. Songs like Mahogany and Untouchables, Run for Cover. I think this is a very very good album. Production's great as always, and Rakim is just he's amazing. So yeah, can't go wrong with this. Eric B and Rakim, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. This is the last album that I needed by them, so I've actually got all their albums now. I just need to get Rakim's first solo album, and I'm done. I don't care about the Seventh Seal. I've listened to some of it, and it's terrible. But yeah, Eric B and Rakim, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em came out in 1990. Very dope album. Um, this one's something a bit different for me. MF Doom with Operation Doomsday. This came out in 1999. This got reissued recently in 2016. Um, Basically, a lot of the reissues came out since '99. They had to alter the artwork, because obviously, it sort of copyright infringes, Doctor Doom from the Marvel comics. So yeah, you had to change it, but thankfully they managed to re-release it with the proper original artwork, which is definitely the coolest. I don't like the other ones that they did. And when I heard that they were reissuing it, that was when I actually checked this album out and see what the fuss is about. And to be honest, I think this is a dope album. Like, I did enjoy it, but I don't love it as much as lots of other people do. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it because, like, I like the production, and I think MF Doom himself, he's pretty dope. He's a good lyricist, and I like his style and stuff. But I don't know. It just hasn't really fully clicked with me yet. I've listened to it 3 or 4 times, and I do find myself enjoying it more and more with each listen. So I think it's going to be one of those albums that you just need to listen to over and over again until you fully enjoy it. But I do like it. I think it's a good album. My favorite song on here is "The Finest" track 4. I think that's a dope track, and yeah, I like all the little skits in the album as well. They sort of do a good job breaking up the album, giving it like sort of like an atmosphere to it. It was pretty cool. I really don't like the song Tick Tick. I just don't like the speed it up, slow it up, speed it up, slow it up. I don't like that song. Sorry, but yeah, I think it's a dope album. I just don't love it as much as everyone else does so far, but I'll keep listening to it. And yeah, I'll probably get there someday with it. But yeah, I'm glad to get that. That was one of my albums that I got as a surprise present from my birthday, so that's pretty good. Here's another reissue. Paris with his third album, Gorilla Funk. This is a 2009 reissue. The album originally came out in 1994. As the title implies, it has more of a G-funk kind of sound to it, and as a result, it has a more of a overt West Coast kind of sound to it. Compared to his first two albums, which are like grittier sound, have like more of an almost East Coast kind of sound to them. Good album. I need to listen to it again. I've only listened to it once or twice since getting it, but it's a pretty good album. I don't like it as much as his first album, The Devil Made Me Do It. I think that's a better album, but I still really enjoy it. I love the song Gorilla Funk, the title track. I think it was also the main single. Yeah, I think that's a great song. It's Real is also a really good song too. And this is the deluxe edition. It adds a couple of extra songs in here. And interestingly, it features 4 songs from the album Unleashed, which I've shown before. Actually, I'm pretty lucky to have that album. Because for whatever reason, I guess maybe he doesn't have the rights to it or whatever, but that Unleashed album was never reissued, and as a result, you've got these 4 songs from that album included on the deluxe edition. The tracks are 44 Way, Street Soldier, Root of All Evil, and Conversation. They were all originally on Unleashed, but they were included on here, and I don't know why. Yeah, interesting. And worth noting, the song Street Soldier actually originally appeared on the Street Fighter soundtrack, which came out in '94. So that actually fits very well onto this disc. But I don't know, I just thought it was strange that those songs from another album made it on here. It's a bit strange, but yeah, good album, definitely worth checking out. And I need to get more Paris albums, slowly but surely. I'll get them. Next album, keeping it West Coast here, we got Richie Rich with Seasoned Veteran. I believe this is his third album, I want to say. And this came out in '96. He also had another album that came out in '96 as well. So he's one of the like few artists that put out like 2 separate albums on the same year. Um, yeah, I think this is a good album. I enjoyed it. I think it's got some really, really good production. Um, but it's not consistent, all the way through. I think there are some tracks better than others in terms of that stuff. I like Richie Rich. He's got like a smooth but rough kind of style at the same time. He's got like a smooth style, but he has like a rough kind of voice. It sort of reminds me of like a MC Breed or someone like that. You know what I mean? I thought it was a pretty good album. Some good guest features on here. E40's on here, and Tupac's on here, of course. Richie Rich. Was sort of affiliated with Tupac. That's actually how I know of him to begin with. I heard him on the stuff he did with Tupac, and the song that Tupac's features on here, "Niggas Don't Change." That's a good, really good song. If you're a Tupac fan, if you haven't heard it, then well worth checking out to hear that. But it's a good album overall, anyway. And the song towards the end, "Do G's Get to Go to Heaven," was dedicated to Tupac because this song came out shortly after his death and stuff like that. Really dope album. The only thing I don't like about it really is uh, the last song, "Touch Myself" remix featuring T-Boz, and I think Jermaine Dupri's on there or whatever. oof, not good. But enjoy the rest of the album. Like I said, the beats are a little bit inconsistent, but I think it's a pretty good album overall and well worth checking out. And yeah, I checked out this album because a while back because it was like his most well known, and it's his only album to come out on Def Jam. And of course, like most West Coast artists, it didn't do too well on Def Jam. But yeah, Richie Rich, seasoned veteran, that came out in '96. Next album is a really fantastic album, and I should have got it ages ago, but I'm an idiot, so only only got it for Christmas. Is Gangstar's Moment of Truth. This came out in 1998. The thing that really impresses me about this album is that it's 20 straight tracks. No interludes, no intros, no outros, no skits, nothing. 20 straight tracks, and it's a very long album. It's like 78 minutes, you know what I mean? Which usually that's like a red flag. I would look at that and go, oh, well, that's too long, you know what I mean? Because it is, it's difficult to listen to an album that long in one sitting, you know what I mean? It's a long time, it's a big time commitment, but this album gets away with it because it's all really good. Like, there's nothing like, most really long albums suffer from like having filler and stuff like that, but this album doesn't have that problem. I thought it was really fantastic all the way through. My favorite song on here, hands down, is JFK the LAX. I think I love that song. I love the production, the storytelling from Guru, absolutely amazing. So yeah, yeah, fantastic album. I don't know if it's my favorite Gangster album or not. I would have to wait, and sort of let time pass a bit to see. But yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Gangster recently, and just yeah, love this album. I think it's just fantastic. So yeah, Moment of Truth by Gangster, well worth picking up if you haven't. The next one I'm going to dedicate to my man MJ75. What up, gangsta? I've got Second to None with their self-titled album, came out in 1991. West Coast duo known for their affiliation with DJ Quick. DJ Quick actually produced the entire album, and this is a great album. Really good, funky, sort of upbeat, catchy stuff. I really enjoyed it. My favorite songs on here. I love the last track, Niggas Trippin', that's dope. What Goes Up, it uses the same sample that BDP used for the Kenny Parker show, that bum bum ba dum that's same loop, it's very dope. Um, if you want it, that's like the same sample that the Ghetto Boys use for Mind Playing Tricks with Me. But the thing, if it's interesting about that sample, they flipped it in a completely different way. Ghetto Boys used it for like a very somber kind of, reflective, like kind of, somewhat of a sad track. But this here is sort of much more upbeat. And I just thought it was interesting how that sample was flipped in a very different way. If You Want It was also the main single from the album. I think this is a really good. Overall, coming like this, that's a really good one too. I think it's a very good album, well worth checking out. This is the 1999 reissue. Not that it makes much of a difference. I just thought I would point that out. So yeah, I need to check out all of their second album someday, which is called Classic 220 or 220, whatever you want to say. It came out in '99. I've heard some tracks from it. It's actually pretty good. And they actually recorded an album in like '94 called The Shit, and it was supposed to come out in Death Row Records, but it didn't happen. It just didn't come out. But it ended up leaking in like 2007 or 2008, one of those years. So that's interesting. But yeah, need to check out that classic. I should check out this shit as well. Actually, check out their other stuff. But yeah, Second to None, self-titled album, well worth checking out. This came out in 1991. Really good album. The next one is another Christmas present. This one is quite obscure. It's one of the more obscure albums that I've got. I don't know if any of you guys have heard this or know of this guy. It's a guy called K Nut, and this album's called Look at Him Now. This came out in 1998. It came out on Relativity. Sorry, and they were owned by Sony and stuff like that. But no one seems to know anything about this album, and people like don't talk about it at all. It seems to be very obscure. Um, from what I know, there isn't a lot of information about him online, but from what I know, he's from Flint, Michigan, and he seems to be somewhat affiliated with the Dayton family. And yeah, and that's how I would describe his delivery. Like, he sounds like someone who would be in the Dayton family. Pretty good album. It's nothing like I don't really recommend it that much as far as like it's nothing. It didn't blow my wig off or anything, but I thought it was a decent gangster kind of album. Some nice production on here from EA Ski and CMT. They produce a good number of songs in here, and generally I thought it was a good like G Funk inspired album. I thought it was pretty solid. So yeah, if you haven't heard that, it might be worth checking out. K Not Look at Him Now. This came out in 1998. This next one needs no introduction whatsoever. Is Warren G. Regulate the G Funk era. This came out in 1994. I'm happy to have like an original version of this. You do see this quite a lot. This album quite a lot in the UK, but it's usually the Def Jam Classics remastered thing, and I prefer getting the originals if I can. But yeah, so everyone knows songs like Regulate and This DJ. I like this but I think it's a little bit, I hate to say it, but I think it's a little bit overrated. Um, in my opinion, you know what I mean? There's just a lot of other West Coast albums that came out around that time that I think are a lot better and they don't really get much recognition for whatever reason. But this is a super popular album and it sold like, I think it did like 3 times platinum, 4 times platinum, something like that. And it was like Warren G is like the only West Coast guy to do well on Def Jam, you know. But I don't even know like if that's even Def Jam, you know what I mean? I always saw, always thought that Warren G kind of broke out because of his affiliation with like Snoop Dogg and like the Death Row Records, and the fact that Regulate was on the Above the Rim soundtrack, I think did a lot more for him than Def Jam ever did, because Def Jam were rubbish at marketing their West Coast acts. But yeah, I think it's a dope album. I just don't think it's as classic as a lot of people say. People might disagree with me with that, and that's cool. But yeah, what are my favorite songs from this one? Regulate, I think is dope. Um, Running with No Brakes, I think that's dope. Yeah, what's next? Yeah, I think it's a dope album. It's just I don't know. It's short. It's like 36 minutes, and there's a lot of features on here. Um, Having lots of features wasn't like entirely new because like the Chronic has a lot of features and Doggy Style has a lot of features, but it sticks out a lot here because it's quite a short album. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. Feel free to disagree, but I still like the album. I think it's a good album, very good album. Definitely worth checking out. Warren G. Regulate the G Funk era came out in '94. Sorry, muted my microphone before I cough because don't want to blow your eardrums with that nonsense. So on the Warren G tip, I also got Twins Conversation. This came out in 1995, and this the Twins were featured on Regulate, and Warren G actually did all the beats for this album, apart from one song, the song Four Eyes Two Heads, which is actually one of my favorite songs on the album. This also came out on Def Jam. I love the song Eastside Long Beach, Eastside LB. That's a really great song, one of the main singles. And yeah, I actually like this a little bit more than Regulate, the Warren G album, personally. I just think it's a little bit more consistent. And yeah, it's just my opinion. I think the beats are a little bit better. I think Warren G is a dope producer, you know what I mean? But I don't think he's a great rapper per se. I like his style, and his style matches his beats, but I think he's actually a better producer than he is rapper, in my opinion. But yeah, I think this is a dope album. Twins Conversation. If you like Regulate by Warren G, you'll definitely like this album. So yeah, Twins Conversation, that came out in '95. More West Coast stuff. We've got Dub C with his solo debut album. The Shadiest Ones came out in 1998. Dope album. My favorite song on here is the title track featuring CJ Mack. CJ Mack changed a lot from like the True Game album, which I showed a while back. On that album, he's kind of like laid back and he sounds kind of like wise and mature. But on here, he's like aggressive and he's just a real gangster. I love that song, The Shadiest One. It's really hard. Um, I really like this album overall. I think it's pretty dope. I like all the beats and stuff like that. And I think Dub C is just so underrated. I've been listening to all of his stuff, everything from like Low Profile all the way up to his latest album, and I think he's great. I really do. I think he's crazy underrated. I think he's very unique flow, and I love his voice and all that. I think he's great. So the Shadiest One came out in 1998. Rest in peace to his younger brother DJ Crazy Tunes, who I believe produced one of the songs, and Yeah, it's a shame that he died. He was a good producer, and he was like the DJ for Dubsy and Ice Cube for a long time and stuff like that. I believe that is him in the middle there. Yeah, DJ Crazy Tunes. So yeah, rest in peace to him. Dubsy, Shadiest One, came out in 1998. We got another Dubsy album here, Ghetto Heisman, came out in 2002. I think it's a dope album too. Not as good as the Shadiest One. I think the beats are a bit more lacking on this album, but still pretty good overall. I think Dubsy's never lost it as far as his voice and his flow goes. And this has some great songs on it. The main single, "The Streets," I've always liked that song featuring Snoop Dogg and Nate Dogg. I've always liked that song. Bellon's a good song. So Hard featuring Scarface. I like the verses and stuff like that, but I find the hook a bit annoying from Dub C. I find it a little bit annoying. I love the song Walk featuring Mac 10 and Ice Cube. That is a Battle Cop beat, and it's really really good. That's like that song's way better than anything on Terrorist Threats. And yeah, Wanna Ride featuring Ice Cube and MC Ren. It's a pretty dope song as well. Um, good album, very good album. Came out in 2002 at a time when like the West Coast wasn't really doing that well, and I think this is one of the better West Coast albums to come out around that era. So yeah, that's definitely worth checking out as well. Ghetto Heisman came out in 2002. Um, Here's another one, another West Coast album, Corrupt, The Streets is a Mother. This is his second album, and it came out in 1999. This is a very good album too. I think I would say it's his best album out of the first three, because I don't like Corruption that much, and I think the Space Boogie Smoke Odyssey album is decent. It's not bad, but it's definitely his best. But it's still, I would say I prefer Daz Dillinger's solo debut, the Revenge and Retaliation and Get Back album. I think that's or Retaliation, Revenge and Get Back, whatever it is. Um, I like that album more than this, in my opinion. But it's still a good album. Who Ride with Us? That's a great song. Never Gonna Give It Up sounds like a song that would be on uh, Snoop Dogg's No Limit Top Dog, which I think is a very good album. Ho's a Housewife featuring Dr. Dre. It's pretty good. That song was actually featured on Corruption, but this is like an updated, better version of the song. Um, Live on the Mic featuring yeah, Live on the Mic, or yeah, with KRS-One, featured as a bonus track, which kind of threw me off. And there's a song after that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's a song after that. Calling Out Names featuring Exhibit. That's a dope name where dope song rather, where he's calling out like DMX and Ja Rule and stuff like that. I think this is a dope album. A little bit inconsistent in terms of beats and stuff like that. Just my opinion, but yeah, I think it's still a good album. Well worth checking out. Corrupts, The Streets is a Mother. I've actually owned this album before. Here's my second copy, but this one on the left with the hype sticker is the clean version. So that was a waste of time. So yeah, um, but yeah, glad to finally have the proper version of that. This is an album. The next one is an album that I really am super super lucky to have, but there is a bit of a caveat with it, and I'll get to that in a minute. Um, the album that I'm talking about is Sibo's Tales from the Crypt. I am so lucky to have this album. 6.99. Got really lucky with it, and the thing that makes it even sweeter is that it's the original. The original version. The original has this like graveyard kind of scene on the back. The re-release is like pink, and it sort of doesn't look as good. But yeah, I'm so super lucky to have this album. I think it's a really, really, really good album. I love the song 187 Dance. It's probably my favorite. Birds in the Kitchen, fantastic song. Who Ride, Murder's Very Writ. I think this is an awesome album. I love the beats, and I love Sibo's delivery. It just sounds so evil and so I don't know. You can tell. I don't know. It's just like so. His voice matches so well with the beats, and it's like dark gangster shit. You know what I mean? It's a really good album. My only the only caveat is that this CD is a bit it's a bit messed up. It's a bit scratched, and well, see, it doesn't look that bad. It's a bit dark in here, but if I had the light shining on it, you could see that there's quite a lot of little bits of dirt on it, and there's scratches on it. But the scratches aren't too bad. But I think there's quite a lot of hard like bits of dirt that are like ingrained on the CD, really hard to get off. And there's one song that I can't rip off it from onto my computer. The song Freestyle. It just gives up. It just doesn't. copy it over, so that's a shame. I need to find a way of getting that track. So yeah, but apart from that, that's the only problem. And really happy to have this album. Sibo Tales from the Crypt came out in 1995. Really good album. And then we'll put that over there. And last one I'm going to show in this video, I got in the one my favorite charity shop, I would say, the one that I keep on getting stuff in. It is Machiavelli, the Tupac. Technically his first posthumous album came out in '96. So of course, this is the last Tupac album that he actually, he knew what it was going to sound like before it came out, rather than all the other ones that came out afterwards. Yeah, everyone knows songs like Hail Mary and To Live and Die in L.A. Great songs. My favorite, one of my favorites, is the first track, Bomb First. I think that's great. I always like the song Crazy. I think that's a great song. Yeah, really happy to get this album because this was like the Tupac album that I really needed. This and the Fog Life album were like the ones that I really needed, and I was super lucky to get it in the charity shop for 50p. So can't go wrong with that. So yeah, Machiavelli, the 7-Day Fury down. The Tonk Illuminati 7-Day Fury came out in 1996. Really happy to pick this up on the cheap. So, because this is one of those albums that it's never that cheap. I don't know. I just don't know what it is, but it always seems to be a little bit expensive. So really happy to have that. So yeah, and yeah, thanks very much for watching this video. Sorry that it's been so long since I last did one, but yeah, hopefully I'll do the next one a bit quicker. I should be able to. Because I've still got plenty more stuff to show. I've been out and about in the shops and stuff like that, picking things up. So I'll tell you guys more about that the next time. But until then, thanks very much for watching and subscribing as always, and I'll see you guys next time.